Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got my son with me in the background. I've just filmed another review. Mind your language, darling. And I'm going to be doing a very interesting video. I've been looking forward to doing this for a long time, and finally I've got some time to do it. Now, I purchased a while back a very sought after palette that is absolutely gorgeous, and a lot of you, if you're into makeup, you will immediately recognize this. This is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. It came out in September, October, sometime like that, and it is quite expensive. It's £56, but the colours are absolutely gorgeous. And let me just show you the colours. So you basically now this isn't just going to be about this. I'm going to just keep watching. So here is the front of the packet, and here inside you see, you open it up and you have that lovely thing to protect the eye colours, and there are all the colours, and they are really, really beautiful. Okay, now I can't remember what it was, but a while later I was just searching on Amazon, and I just thought, I wonder if Amazon do Huda Beauty. So I dialed in, searched in Desert Dusk, and there were a few kind of very more highly priced than the actual original, and people saying they were fakes. And then this popped up. Now, I have to say, in fairness, this does not say it is the Desert Dusk palette, so I wouldn't be so cruel as to call it a fake, because I think a fake is something where somebody's pretending to be something else. Now, they're not pretending to be Huda Beauty Desert Dusk, but they're kind of guiding you with the packaging, I think, if you have a look here, in letting you know that this is going to be quite similar. Okay, now I couldn't resist buying this, because I'm just going to take this out and I will show you. When I saw the colours on this palette, let me show you next to the colours on the actual original. When I saw the colours in this palette, I realised that they were actually attempting to copy the Desert Dusk palette. So let me try and line this up for you, so that you can see, and I will place that over the mirror like so. So if you can see that. So at the top, is that right? Yeah, at the top we have the copy, and at the bottom we have the original. Okay, now the original, as I said, is £56. The one at the top is £7. So I couldn't resist but to buy it, and I'm actually going to be donating this to a friend of mine. The copy, that is. Sorry, you're not getting the original, love. Yeah, so I thought, wouldn't it be great to do a look with one eye using the original and one eye using the copy. But first of all, I just want to tell you a little bit about this brand that is called Beauty Glazed, because inside the packaging, they gave me a leaflet. And in the back it says, Beauty Glazed was born, raised and made with love in Hong Kong, founded in 2015 by Seed Beauty. We pride ourselves on being wallet friendly and bunny approved. We test our products in the nicest way possible. Trends come and go, so it's super important to us that you can keep up with this ever-changing industry without breaking the bank. Now, I think that that's really good. You know, makeup is makeup, and we know that a lot of what we pay for is packaging. Now, I don't criticise anybody. I would be actually a little bit naive if I did, because I go for high-end makeup as well as the cheaper-end makeup. So, I think that some people like that feel-good factor of getting a kind of a high brand name with beautiful packaging, and there is no doubt that this packaging is by far superior to the Beauty Glazed packaging. But if you're on a budget and you really like the colours in the Huda Beauty palette, but you can't afford to run to £56, then I think that this is worth seriously looking at. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a swatch test for both of them first, and then I will quickly do a look. So let me just, in fact, no, I'm going to put the swatches at the end of the video because I think otherwise it's going to take far too long. So now, how do we do this as scientifically as possible? Well, I do happen to have identical brushes of one particular type of brush. So, we all know that makeup goes on dependent on the brushes you use. That's the only other differing factor. So, I have got the same set of brushes. They're both identical. And I'm going to be doing one eye with Huda Beauty and one eye with the copy. And we shall see how they wear throughout the day. Would you like to wear the makeup, Jack?
No, but I would like to be taller than you.
Well, that's not going to be very difficult, seeing as Mummy's only 4'8". And that's true, guys. If you're watching me, I am only 4'8".
And I'm taller.
And yes, and he's taller, and he's 9. Okay, so here we go.
Your old boy.
Right, let Mummy get on with the video now, sweetheart. Right, so first of all, we're going to start with the Huda Beauty palette, which is here, and I'm going to go in with the shade Desert Sand to prime my eyelids, okay? And I have got my brushes lined up here, and let's kick off with that one. So I'm going to put this one on here. I've got to concentrate that I don't start mixing them up or mixing up brushes. So I'm just going to put this shade Desert Sand all over the lid just to prime. I've put some eye primer on, which is quite sticky, and I want to make sure that the other shades blend really well and don't get stuck on the sticky eye primer that is on my eyelids. Okay, so that is Desert Sand, which, as you can see, is this one here. So I'm now going to go for the equivalent shade on this palette, which is called Creamy, which is this shade at the end here. And I am going to put that, let's get this eyeshadow brush, separate eyeshadow brush over this side, and I'm going to put Creamy onto this lid. And I actually think so far that this one is more pigmented, which is very interesting because it's the copy. I haven't actually swatched these on my eyes. I've had this for a few weeks. I've swatched it on my arm, and I was very pleasantly surprised. And I think it's going to be a close run thing. Okay, so let's now move back to the original Desert Dust palette. And I'm going to gradually build up the intensity. And I think I'm going to go in with, let me see, maybe I should try and use as many shadows as possible without it looking stupid. So I'm going to go in with Musk as a kind of transition shade, which is the next one along. And I'm just going to put that into the crease of my eye. Okay? So that's going on here. Now, don't blame the eyeshadow for getting stuck. This is definitely the primer that I'm using. It's a very, very good primer, but the downside of it is that sometimes it just makes my eyeshadow very, very difficult to blend. Okay, so there we have Musk. So moving on to the other palette, and again I'm going to go in with the corresponding shade, which is called Dust. Must and Dust. Some of them are actually called the same thing, but not all of them. So on with these different brush, I'm going to go in with Dust. Now this one is immediately coming out slightly more orangey. Slightly more.
Orangey, whatever.
Slightly more orangey in appearance than the other side. But still very good pigmentation. Just perhaps not as true to the shade that it looks like in the pan, I would say. I suppose what I'm trying to ascertain here is whether or not the difference in price is all about packaging. So let's move back to the Huda Beauty original palette, which is here, and I am going to then go in with, let's go in with something really, really bold and go in with this saffron colour, and I'm going to put that into the crease with a smudge brush into the corner and into the crease, and see how this kind of blends in. This is where we could end up with two eyes that look completely different if the colouring is very different on the eyes, but we shall see. I'm not really going out today, so if it looks different, it looks different. I'm just going to blend that up to there, and then go back in with my blending brush and blend that in. Kind of all fingers and thumbs juggling palettes here. It's not quite as easy as it sounds. Hi guys, sorry about that. I just got a phone call in the middle of it. So where were we? I was blending this eyeshadow in on the Huda Beauty side, just to get it nice and blended in. And then I'm going to go with the corresponding shade on the fake side. Not the fake side, the copy side. I'm not going to call it a fake because it doesn't pretend to be a Huda palette. And so this one is called Burgundy, the equivalent shade there, okay? So let's go in with my separate brush, and I'm going to be using the smudge brush just as I used on the other side, and go in at the side like this. I have to say that I find these very blendable, and if anything, I think this is actually blending easier than the Huda one. And the colour does look different, but it's actually very nice. I don't know if people can see that, but I think that's sort of, it's actually kept its colour a lot better than the Huda one. Sorry, Huda, but so far I'm quite impressed. Might not want to give this away. Okay, can you see that? And that one's kind of changed colour, and it's gone a little bit sort of purple in the corner, whereas this one has actually stayed true to the colour of the eyeshadow. I'm very, very impressed. Okay, so I'm sure that you're all absolutely dying for us to start looking at some of these more shimmery shades. So I'm going to go in with, what shall I go in with? I'm going to go in with, I'm going to go in with Retrograde, which is this one here at the end. And I'm going to dab this one on my eyelid with the smudge brush. I wouldn't normally dab it in with the smudge brush, but I want to stick to the same brushes as much as possible. So this is Retrograde, which I'm just dabbing over the lid. To get that maximum glimmer effect. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to go on to this side. Jack, which side do you think's looking better so far?
Can I answer 12 in 12 years?
Yes.
Thanks.
He's very tactful, my son. Okay, so this one is called Bling. Now, I have a feeling this is going to look quite different. Certainly from the look in the pan. But we shall see. Okay, so it's perhaps not got the kind of... this has got a kind of multi-toned, kind of bluey effect. But nevertheless, I don't think it's bad at all. See what you think. Okay, so I'm going to literally play around with a lot of colours so that I can finish this off. So let me try, and I'm going to go over it with some Desert Sand, which is this gold colour in the corner. You can't actually see in this light, but it is actually gold. And I'm just going to put some of that on with my finger and the centre of my lid to see, because that's supposed to kind of sparkle it up a bit more. Let's do a little bit more. And then wiping down my finger. I am then going to, just to show you that my finger is now clean-ish, I'm now going to go in with this. Now, this is where I'm not sure, because this one says copper. And let me show you this palette here. If you look at them together, that one looks a lot darker. And actually, I will stick to it. We'll stick to it because I think that's all supposed to be pretty much the same. Although I think that looks a lot. I'm going to go for Dust, which is next to it, because I think that looks a closer representation of Celestial. Is that right? No, sorry. Gold Sand looks a closer representation of Celestial. So with my finger, I'm just going to dab that on like so. I think if I'd put the one next to it, it would have looked too different, to be honest. Okay, now I am going to go back into the previous palette here, and I'm going to go in with this shade, which is called Oud, and I'm just going to fill in the crease. Nearly mixed up my brushes then. The crease with a bit more intensity, with my smudge brush. Again, just to see. Let's just do it all the way around. I know I'm just being deliberately now to see, to experiment a little bit more. Covering up what I've done completely before, but, and then I'm going to go in and blend that in with my brush. Like so. Okay, and now I'm going to go back in with this side and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So this one is called Mud. So one letter change, which is this one here. So they're exactly the same shade. And I'm going to go in with my smudge brush again and do exactly what I did with the other one. Perhaps this one is slightly not as pigmented. It's the first one I felt that's not quite as pigmented, but let's see how that blends out. In fact, though, I like the tone of this one. It's sort of got slightly more red in it than the other one. It's got more brick brown tone to it. So let's just... Okay, now, since I know everybody is going to be dying to see the two glitters and whether they work, because these palettes are known for their glitters, I am going to put a little bit of this Proof It back on my eyelid, and I'm going to use Cosmo on the Desert Dust palette in the centre of my eye, and then I'm going to use the equivalent on the copy and see how the two glitters compare. And then I will finish off by doing a kind of highlight shade on the two palettes and doing something under my eyelid. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my finger very, very lightly into Cosmo, which is the glitter shade, which you can see goes on the finger like so. And let's just... put that on there. You have to be so light-handed with this glitter, guys. Otherwise, it's just going to break up in the pan. I haven't quite got that very near to my lids, but... Okay, now, just taking care again to wipe down. This is one of the reasons I actually use this top for wiping down. Don't worry, it's going in the washing machine later. I'm then going to take the glitter from the Beauty Glazed palette, and this one looks a slightly different shade, but it's basically called glitter. And I'm going to dab my finger. Now this one feels like it's been glued in a lot more, and you can kind of afford to rub your finger a little bit more. But let's just see what this one looks like. Right, the glitter, already I can tell you, the glitter is not, it's kind of clumping a bit more. I suspected that they might not be as good with the glitter, but I have to say that the eyeshadows I'm very, very impressed with. The glitter, not so much. It's kind of gone in one clump because I think they've tried to press it too much into the pan. So when it gets onto your finger, it's not going on evenly. Kind of got it in a bit of a clump there. Let's see if I can kind of blend that out as much as I can. Like so. Okay, and then finally, I'm going to look for something to kind of dab on my upper brow and then actually smoke out my lower lid. And we shall see how the day progresses. So I'm going to go in with Nefertiti. Mind you, if I do that, that's going to be like the other one. Now let's do Nefertiti. So Nefertiti, I'm going to go in and just dab that on the top here. And then a little bit in the corner. Like so.
Oh, this video was from a year ago.
Okay, and then, in fact, while I'm on here, I'm going to quickly go and do a mixture of blazing and amethyst. Blazing and amethyst under my eye. So I've tried out as many as possible of these eyeshadows. So blazing and amethyst are going under my eye and linked up there. Okay, and then let's do the same on the other side with the Beauty Glazed palette. So I am going to go in with what was gold sand. That's why I hesitated, because I kind of think that this one is more like Nefertiti rather than the gold sand. They kind of mixed it up. Let's go in with this one, which is Bling, because I think that's more like Nefertiti. No, it's not going to be, is it? And I've put it on with the smudger. So that's my fault, not the palette's fault. Let's go back to this one, which is supposed to be the highlighter shade. Okay. And then underneath, as I said, I mixed this colour with this colour under my eyes. So I'm going to go and do that. So this colour here and this colour here. Mix them together and under my eyes. Like so. That's a real shame, because apart from the glitter, I think that looks very, very good. Apart from the clump of glitter that's gone onto my eye there. I think it really is a very good contender. So there you have it. I will come back later on and tell you how the two have worn. And I'm going to ask some of my friends on Facebook if they can tell me which one is the original and which one is the copy. Okay, see you soon. I'll put the details of both of these palettes below. If you want to buy the Beauty Glazed or the Huda palette, you know where to go. I definitely would suggest going to Cult Beauty for your Huda palette, so that you can guarantee that it is an authentic palette, because there's lots of different ones on Amazon, and some of them, the reviews are saying that they're fake, and they're also charging a lot more than the original price. Okay, thank you for watching my review. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. As you can hear, it's very, very busy in our household this evening. I'm just doing an update on my video to show you my two eyes. both have worn reasonably well, I think. For me, I've got hooded lids, and often I end up with little streaks of patches where it's come off. Possibly the Huda one's worn slightly better, but you know, I still love the pigmentation of this one. It's a lot warmer than the original, and I think for £7 it is not to be sniffed at. The poll on Facebook on my wall is about 80% of people are guessing that the original Huda palette is the copy. And on the other group that I belong to, about 90% are guessing correctly that this is the genuine one and that this is the copy. So overall, about 70% are guessing incorrectly which one is the genuine Huda palette. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my video. As I said, I'll put both links below, and have a good evening, and I'll catch you another time for another video. Take care. Bye. Mwah.